Slack and E-Major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to the My Type of Hype podcast. Once again, your boy Slack in the building, and my co-host extraordinaire to my left. What's happening, brother?
Very good, man. I'm here. E-Major in the house. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip-hop and not just the hype. Slack, what you saying? You good?
Yeah, man. All blessed, bro. All good.
Nice.
Ready to get stuck into this one. What's happening this week?
Yeah, man. So as I think it was you that mentioned it last week or a recent episode, 1993, stacked year for hip-hop, man. Stacked year, one of the best years in hip-hop. And here we are, 2023, 30 years later, man. So we just wanted to do a couple anniversary episodes. We hit you at Enter the Stage not too long ago. And today I'm excited about this one. If you haven't heard me talk about it before, then I know you've never seen me tweet and you've never listened to any episode of My Type of Hype, because I big this album up a lot. And it is Snoop Doggy Dogg, Doggystyle, 1993 super classic. So we want to throw it down about that today. So yeah, man, we'll get straight into it, man. What's your thoughts about it, bro? What's your first memory of it? How you feel about it?
My first memory of Doggystyle, I guess, would have been the hype surrounding it. The What's My Name video being all over the box, the Gin and Juice video being all over the box, and prior to that, the his songs with Dre Day, and Nothing But a G Thing, which is all over the box, man. So the hype was crazy. Like that What's My Name video will get played like every 5 minutes, man.
All the time.
Yeah. I can't listen to it now because I've just heard it way too many times. But that whole Snoop Dogg, it was just everywhere, man. Like,
infectious.
If you weren't around them times, like I can't explain to you how big that whole movement was.
Exactly.
And for him, yeah, man. I remember when I went to go buy the album, I went to one place and it was sold out. I went to another place and he was like, I can't sell it to you because you're underage or something. Like, what? Then I went to, I can't remember where it was. I eventually managed to find it from, but I managed to get one on CD. And yeah, man, I remember when I got it, man, I just rinsed it like backwards and forwards. Like I just loved. Like initially, I was quite shocked with how much bad language was on it, because we get the edited version on the videos and stuff like that. So when I actually played the album, I was like, damn, like these guys are saying some crazy stuff. But yeah, man, that was a mad time in hip hop, bro. That was like I think that was like the birth of a superstar with Snoop. Obviously still very prevalent in hip-hop today, but yeah, man, just an amazing time, amazing music.
Incredible.
Yeah, I don't think we'd ever see that again, so I'm glad that I was around to see it,
100%, man. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, like, if you weren't there, you can't explain it, because people can look at Snoop now, like we spoke about not too long ago. You know what I mean? My man's at the WWE Hall of Fame, he's cooking, he's doing all these different things, and you think, don't get it twisted, man. Snoop, 1992, 1993 Snoop was not this Snoop. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
In a good way, though. I love how he is now. Like, I love how he is now. I'm just saying. But yeah, man, similar to you, just all the singles that he was on. Obviously, Chronic was super huge in it. Him being on that, the deep cover. For me, it was always like, who's this soft voiced dude? Do you know what I mean? Like, but rapping so hard. And then What's My Name? I'm different to you there, bro. I still love that song. And there's not many singles that have been rinsed that you still can listen to. I still can listen to that, man, to this day. But that chorus was just infectious, man. Loved it. I have to be honest, I did not buy Doggystyle, bro. What was that?
You didn't buy it?
No, what I mean is I didn't spend my money on it. It's one of them ones where it's like, it got dubbed for me, innit? Someone was like, oh, you got the new Snoop. Like, no, not yet. Put it on the tape and give it to me. Them ones, innit? So I rinsed out the tape, but I did buy the record. I did buy it after I had heard it on the tape. bought the record. I've had it on probably everything now.
I've had it
CD,
on everything. Yeah, vinyl,
yeah,
cassette,
multiple
CD.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Rinsed it out, man. It was every remix of every song. It's my second favorite hip hop album of all time. But there's days when I think really it should be number one because honestly, bro, I cannot put into words the impact that album had on me. I remember when we was going to Fort Park, you know, them school trips, innit? And them times when everyone's like, "Oh, who you sitting next to? Oh, do you want to sit together?" You know what it was when you were on the coach, innit? I don't care. I was like, I don't really mind, man. I'm not listening to Snoop, but I just had time just listening to it. And the teacher was like, because it's a school trip, we'll let you pick a tape that you can listen to and put in. And I said, can you put it not doing that. Listen, bro.
Wow.
Incredible album, man. It's one of those albums that it does not put like nothing goes wrong. Like nothing goes wrong with it. I love it. To this day, I still love it. You know what I mean? 5 mics is it's not even a 5 mic.
I don't think that's debatable. Yeah. I think it's literally got a bit of everything. Everything that you want from a hip hop album. My mom hated it. She absolutely hated it. Like, she heard me playing it, and then like if she'd come in the house, whatever, I'd have to turn the volume down or something because she was like, "Oh, not that bloody doggy guy." Like she hated it.
Trust me.
Yeah, like I remember I tried to play it in the car one time and she was taking me to school, and yeah, man, she wasn't having none of that. She's like, "Get that crap out of here." She wasn't having it. But any spare time I got, it'll get played. And I think like if you talk about like the things that make a good album or a great album or whatever, it literally ticks every box. You had the singles, you had the features, you had the producer, you had the sequencing. I think the sequencing was done really good. Like little skits in between. So you got the bathtub, you got the Murder Was the Case skit, you got the Lardy Dardy, like you got everything. If I had to choose to change something, there's probably only one thing that I'd probably change on that album.
Let me hear this. What is it?
That is the Lardy Dardy. And I understand why he put it on there, because it was the whole paying homage to Slick Rick. And Slick Rick was obviously a big influence on him, which is cool. Yeah. But I just don't think it fit the rest of the album.
It's my least favorite track.
Yeah, I think, like, if I had to press skip on a song, that would be the one.
Exactly. Very true.
Yeah, but apart from that, man, I can't really. I've listened to like Murder Was the Case, Doggy Dog World, Gin and Juice, like Pump like a million times, and like I could play it again like right now, no problem. And it's so rare for an album to have that. Like we're talking 30 years, bro. Like a load of people ain't been alive that long. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could play that in front, like my kids will listen to it, and yeah, just a pillar of hip hop, I would say. Like just one of those essential hip hop albums, man.
Agreed, man. All right, so you mentioned a few songs there. This should be good now. What if you had to pick, gun to head, 3 favorite songs? No honorable mentions, Easton. I'm talking to myself as well. No honorable mentions, gun to head. What's your 3 favorite songs of the album?
That's fucking tough, mate.
No, bro. I was thinking.
That's hard, bro. I'd have to say Pump Pump has to be on there.
Okay.
100%. Shit, man. I'd have to say the G-Funk intro. Because that is just hard.
It is, man.
And then, oh man, I'll probably say Gin and Juice as well, only because. Would I say Gin and Juice? Or Doggy Dog World, man. I love Doggy Dog World, like the bass line on that tune, the dramatics on there. Like, how do you put the dramatics on a song like that? And it worked, bro. It worked.
Incredible. Incredible, man.
Yeah, all right. I'll go with Doggy Dog World, man, because Gin and Juice I love. Like, I'm gonna put them as a tie. I know you said no honorable mentions, man.
You're cheating, bro.
I can't choose between those two. I can't.
All right. Okay. Mm. All right. So I laugh because I said gun to head, obviously favorite three, and here I am about to pick. I've got a completely different three, and I knew this would be hard because obviously I love every song on the album. But the three that bro, and I'm telling you, I was busting my brain like, no, I can't do this. But I said, right, I'm gonna do it. The three that I picked was For All My Niggas and Bitches. That song for me is just from the beat to where it starts, incredibly hard, man. So that Serial Killer as well. Yeah. And the last one was G's and Hustlers. I love that, bro. Like,
even
the intro. I love that. I love the whole track. Yeah, exactly. But
G's up, Pose down. Like, even if you leave, like G's up, Pose down is so hard. And I think there was only a certain version of the album that had that song on it.
I was going to get into that. Definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
it's clearly impossible to pick three because Serial Killer is 100% one of my favorite joints on there.
Yeah. Too. That's what I mean. And even the three you pick, I'd even take I know you said you can't listen to it no more, but I'd even take What's My Name? Like every song. You could literally just name any three from the album and they could be my favorite three on any day. But if I really had to narrow it down gun to head, they'd be my three. But incredible album. Okay, so even harder question now. Gun to head again. If you had to pick one beat off the album, one instrumental, what would be your favorite instrumental off the album? Favorite beat?
Shit, man.
And we'll ask these questions for the other albums as well to keep it interesting. But yeah.
I might even go with Serial Killer. You know, that beat is just beat is just so disgusting. But then the bass line of that pump, it feels like a reggae song. It feels like
it's hard.
You know them dancehall tunes that had them that kind of feeling to it. One of those two, man. One of those two. Yeah. Once
again, both hard, man. I'd have to go at G's and Hustlers if I really just had to pick one. But like I've kept saying, man, like any beat on there, it's produced, like the production on that album is just incredible.
Yeah, think they did it in what? They did it in, was it a week or something stupid, 2 weeks or something?
Mad.
Yeah, it just goes to show, man, when the creativity is flowing and you got everybody in the studio together and you're bouncing with each other. Yeah, like, this is what can happen. We don't get that no more. You know what I mean? We don't have people in the studio together. You're sending files. You don't have that feeling.
Yeah,
you can tell these dudes were in the studio together making this shit. You know, like a whole different type of energy, man. And everyone, because we never really heard of Daz, we never heard of Corrupt, we never heard of Rage. I mean, we heard of them on
they was on. Album, I know you mean.
But we never had like a solo song from them, or like they were only featured on. So we knew that they was hard, but then for all of them to like just be going their hardest to try and be like, notice me. Do you know what I mean? Like they all wanted their spot and they all did it. Like, yeah, man, just lightning in a bottle, man. Lightning in a bottle.
Because on Chronic felt like Death Row, like, you know, this is Death Row. Welcome to Death Row. Do you know what I mean? And you had these, so you're just thinking Death Row artists, you know what I mean? But with Doggystyle, that's when they became, this is the Dog Pound. Do you know what I mean? So you're thinking of like Corrupt, Daz, and you're thinking like, this is the Dog Pound, Snoop, do you know what I mean? Nate, Rage even, and you're thinking, man, it's just hard, man. And everything that was dropped around that time.
Let me ask you a question on that basis. So when the Dog Pound announced there was a dog food album coming out, because like you, I was looking in the upcoming releases in the source, and it was like Dog Pound, whatever, and I was like, oh shit! So that's gonna be Snoop, it's gonna be Corrupt, Daz, it's gonna be Nate, it's gonna be Rage. But it wasn't that. So when Dog Food initially came out, I was like, oh, it's just these two. So I was expecting it to be the whole Dog Pound. And I
same,
crazy,
same. Yeah, I agree with you. I literally thought it was going to be like we'd get Snoop all over it again, and it would be like a whole you know what I mean? So just like you, when I think at one point one of the adverts were, that's when we saw Daz and Corrupt, and I was like, oh yeah, it's literally. I mean, I wasn't disappointed too much because I knew, well, I was hoping that they'd be all over the album anyway. But when Snoop was always talking about Dog Pound this, Dog Pound that, I actually thought it was like his whole crew, like his whole movement. I never thought it was Daz
on a record. Yeah,
exactly.
And then because you had like Above the Rim, you had that coming in, you had Big Pimpin', which is one of my favorite hip hop songs ever. That beat is immaculate.
Trust me. Murder Was the Case soundtrack.
You had Dog Pound Gangsters. You had Murder Was the Case soundtrack. And because on those songs, you had Snoop and you had Daz and you had Corrupt and you had. So for me, it was like, this is what the Dog Pound is, because that's how they presented it. So when it was the Dog Pound album and it was just those two, I was a little bit confused, but it was dope, so that didn't really matter. But yeah, basically Doggystyle spawned all of that, innit? Spawned
man.
Every bit of it.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like Chronic. Yeah, and it's true. People say, well, no, Chronic was the birth of that because they was on it. But nah, you're right. Doggystyle was really the birth of all of that because Chronic just felt like it had the Death Row artists on it.
Yeah,
Doggystyle felt like it's
Doggystyle felt like it was those guys. Yeah,
100%.
What about you, man? What's your? Did you say your favorite beat?
Yeah, G's and Hustlers. If I had to pick, yeah, G's and Hustlers, man.
So, what would you say is an underrated tune on there?
Right. So, an underrated tune I'm going to say is, you mentioned it, is going to be G's Up, Hoes Down. And the reason, I'm obviously cheating, the reason I'm saying it's an underrated tune is because a lot of the, I'm not saying it's any disrespect, but yeah, a lot of the new schoolers or the ones that came after, they weren't blessed with that song. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've shared the story before. Many of my original presses of stuff I had to get rid of. So I had to get back a lot of my stuff, which breaks my heart to this day. But, you know, I had the tape, I had the record. I think when I bought it on CD, I don't think I had G's Up, Hoes Down. But when I had it on tape and vinyl, I had G's Up, Hoes Down. But like now, if you buy it from anywhere now, stream it now, it's not on there for some sample clearance or whatever. So you have to go to YouTube if you ain't got the original thing. So even though a lot of people don't have it, most people that have ever heard it in their life know it's an incredible tune. Do you know what I mean? It's just so sick, bro. Like it's probably like the smoothest, like mellowest, but most it's an incredible song. So if you're listening, and the Doggystyle you've got in your possession doesn't have G's Up, Hoes Down, go hit YouTube or whatever you need to and listen to that song, man, and thank us later because it's an incredible song. It's a shame that it's not on the other presses. So for that reason alone, I know it's not underrated.
Hip hop as well. There was no drums on that tune. It was just a loop.
Yeah, very true. I didn't even think about that, bro. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, real talk. But yeah, so it's not underrated, like it's not appreciated because everyone who's heard it knows how sick it is. But I'm going to say it's underrated because a lot of people have been robbed of it. Yeah. So, what would you say is an underrated song?
I'd probably go for The Shiznit as an underrated song because
sick,
crazy.
Love that one.
Like that song is a freestyle, isn't it? That is blatantly a freestyle.
Yes.
And I think I just learned that song so quick. And I wasn't trying to learn it, but I think because the way that he rapped it was because he was freestyling, what he was saying was quite simple, like the flow was quite simple. Yeah. So before I knew it, I was just able to recite it so quick. It's just one of them songs, you just know it. Yeah. And the beat just is disgusting. Yeah, everything about that tune is just heavy.
Definitely, man. Incredible album, man. I think the whole album has that feel, like you just said. Obviously, Snoop's rapping quite simple on it anyway, but the whole thing, it was never an effort. I don't know if you've done this, but I know a lot of heads I came up with done this. When we loved songs and stuff, we'd like literally sit down by the radio, pause, play, and write the lyrics down to learn it. But this is one of those albums where it was just in you, where like you didn't have to do no learning, no understand, no trying to grasp it. It was just there.
Do you think that's how can I put it? Because some people say that, you know, rappers dumb their style down and all that kind of stuff, depending on their audience or whatever. I don't think he done anything down because I think he said what he wanted to say. But the way
it's how he fits. Yeah.
But the way that he did it, I don't know. I think he found that perfect medium where no one would say, Snoop is a shit rapper or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he could come up with some simple shit. Everything was DOGG or SNOOP or 1 2 to the 3 or whatever. So it was all very kind of. It weren't Nas, it weren't Rakim, it weren't Cool G, but it was so digestible, and I think that that's a skill in itself.
Yeah,
to make your rhymes like simple and people not be like, this guy's whack, this guy can't rap. Like he's talking about 1 2 3 ABC. I think if he came out now, I think people would be like, this ABC kind of rapper. But then his rhymes weren't complex, but they were so easy to. And I think that was part of the appeal as well, because I think people that weren't even heavy into the album, they'll still know songs off there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, I think that was a skill in itself and a reason why it was so big, man.
Yeah. It's just so, and it's funny because I was speaking about this with wifey the other day. I don't know if it's got anything to do with age. I'm gonna make myself sound old, but I feel like a lot of the albums I was digesting a lot in these times. What album was I was listening to an album recently, right? And it was one of those ones where I never even listened to that much back in the day, but I was listening to it. And I found myself remembering so much from it, from tracks that weren't even my favorite tracks. Can't remember what the album is now. It's gone from me. But I was thinking, like, now it almost feels like it's more of an effort to remember, like, lyrics. But I feel like I could just listen to something a couple times back in the day. And I remember the lyrics, man.
That happened to me in the car the other day. Like something came on, and I knew it, like word for word. And I was like, I ain't heard this for years. Mad, and even when I did hear it, I wasn't heavy on it. It was just one of them songs that was just
right. Yeah.
I was like, how do I know it like back to front? Well, it was crazy. Like, there's loads of albums like that. Like I know Beach Rhymes and Life back to front, and that's not an album that maybe I must have listened to it a lot. I must have.
Yeah.
But just not consciously like, I need to listen to that. But again, it could be if you're able to rap in a way that is just easily digestible, where you don't have to think too much about what they're saying, and maybe the melodies that they choose, or maybe the beat attracts you to what they're saying. Like there's many different ways, but I think that's something that draws you in and makes you want to keep listening to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Doggystyle has definitely got that.
Yeah, man, 100%, man. So, 30 years of Doggystyle, man. Snoop for me, I'll always have that. I mean, we spoke about it in the West Coast episode with Ben. Snoop, he's always gonna have a certain level of respect from me. I know no album has touched Doggystyle since, but that album is just too incredible for me personally.
How do you?
Yeah.
Even if Dre was still about, my thing was always, even if he was there, how would you top that? And we know what Dre's like already. If it's not like 11 out of 10 coming out.
Yeah.
So it's tough on Snoop because Nas has had it his whole career. Nas must be tired of the word Illmatic. Like he must be like, listen, I made that when I was 17, 18 years old. Yeah. I'm 50 now. You know, it's not
talking about celebrating.
Like, let me move on, man. Like I did that when I was a kid. And I think Snoop would be the same. But Snoop celebrates Doggystyle much more than Nas celebrates. Like Snoop will have the merch and
proper. Snoop lives in that Doggystyle jacket.
That Doggystyle jacket. I really want to get one.
I do. Next time I'm in America, that's getting
definitely 100%. But I think it's just one of those albums, man. Just I don't think he would have ever been able to top it. Whatever he did, like there's certain albums that is just magic. And I think that is just what, like everything had to come together. The start of Death Row, Dr. Dre.
Exactly. The stars were aligned.
So for you to get all of those moving parts in the same place again, it's not going to happen. Like you've got Corrupt, you've got Daz, you've got Warren G, you've got Nate Dogg, you've got Rage, you've got all of these people who are coming out at the same time. Like, do you know how difficult that is to have all of that talent in the same place at the same time on the same record? Nah, you're not
100%,
top row. Like what if you did like a 2, but it was with the same people? Like people would be like, I kind of heard them already. You know what I mean? Or the beats ain't as good, or the raps are not good, or he used that line before. Like there's always going to be something that's going to be compared to Doggystyle. So for him to elevate it, bro, that would have been impossible, man. I don't think anything he
agree.
did would have come close. So
yeah, I agree. I'm glad he ain't tried to do Doggystyle 2 or nothing. Like a lot of these MCs will try and do twos. And,
I think that's probably why Redman's holding back that Muddy Waters, because
just allow it, man.
There's nothing he can do now that's gonna touch what he did on Muddy Waters.
Just do what you're doing. Just drop other dope stuff, man. Like we don't need a 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Only Built for Cuban Links 2 is probably the best sequel album. Do you get me?
I like that. I love that. I really love that album. But what I liked about it was a departure from Cuba. It wasn't trying to replicate that sound. Like he didn't just have the RZA, and he did like 3 or 4 songs on there. Like he had a bunch of other people, but it still sounded dope. So yeah,
definitely, man. All right, so to wrap up Doggystyle, you mentioned before there was Corrupt, Rage, all these people on it. So who stood out for you on the album apart from Snoop, obviously? Who did you think,
I'm gonna go for 2 people. Well, shit, man. I would have said 2 people, but probably 3 if I'm being honest. So we've got Rage, who's the first person that you actually hear rapping on there.
Exactly.
Then you've got Mr. Is it Malik from
He killed
Malik, Pub, bro. That verse was crazy. And as a kid, listening to him, because he was probably would have been around the same age.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like,
wow, this kid killing this shit. And then Corrupt verses on that album, when he was chatting about hitting hoes like tennis rackets and all this shit.
Literally the bit I had in my head. Yeah, he killed it. Yeah, he did.
Bro.
He did.
Yeah. All 3 of them. I think Corrupt had more verses, but when you think about what Malik and Rage both did on their time to shine, they both killed it as well, man. But if I had to pick between the 3, I'd say Corrupt, but that's only because he had more opportunities on there, and he shone on every verse that he did. Like he killed it. Yeah, man, I'd say those 3.
Yeah, sick. I'd have to go at Rage, man. And anyone who knows me knows how much I love Rage. I know she ain't got the material, or the amount of material, but she's my favorite female MC. I don't care what anyone else says. You know, she's only got 1 album, she's only got this, she's got that. I don't care. She's my favorite. That's what I'm saying. It's just something I love about Rage. And there's been multiple times where I've put Doggystyle in because I just want to hear that intro. Do you know what I mean? I just think her voice, her flow, like her look, just everything about her. I just love Rage, man. So yeah, she definitely stood out to me, man. I was like, right, I want to hear more from this chick. Do you know what I mean? So, but everyone who appeared, everyone held it down, like do you know what I mean? So yeah,
there
man.
There was no weak link on there. Not one weak link on the album.
Not at all. In any aspect, production, features,
rap, anything, nothing.
Yeah. Even the artwork, bro. Even the artwork is legendary.
Even the artwork was hard, yeah. When you actually you took the CD inlay out, and there was like that whole story.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Try to catch. Yeah, legendary. Over. Even the artwork. Yeah, incredible, man. I can't praise the album enough, man. So, 30 years of Doggystyle, man, and it's as fresh today as it was. You know, I've heard some people say I ain't aged well and all that stuff.
Bullshit.
It's as fresh today to me.
The only reason they say that is because like there was a lot of misogyny and all that kind of stuff on there. And let's be real, like in every hip hop song nowadays, it's all bitches, money, strippers, someone fuck your bitch. It's all the same stuff happening now. Yeah. The same people that are complaining about that album, but you're listening to the shit that's coming out now. Like pick a lane.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, people might say, "Oh yeah, you would throw Jay's name out there," but I mean, you listen to a song like "Bitches and Sisters" from Jay. Bitches and Sisters, yeah. He deals with that, man. It's like, listen, we are not calling women bitches. There's a certain type of woman that they're referring to when they say.
They make it very clear who they're referring to all
the time. So, all the time. Yeah, exactly. It's only Anyway, that's actually might be an interesting
topic for another time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man,
it's one of them as well. Them retrospective, them dickheads who only heard it like last week, although it's been out for 30 years. They heard it last week, and all of a sudden they're outraged by something that came up. Like, bro, you can't change it now. It's done. It's in stone. We've heard it. We've listened to it. We've clubbed to it. It's too late. Like, stop complaining.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous, man.
Can't go back and you know what I mean?
It's like time and like judge someone for what they're saying when they was like 19, 20 years old. Like it's dumb.
Exactly, man. Nah, incredible. Still as dope to me today as it was 30 years ago, man. Me at 13 loves it just as much as me as at 43. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, incredible album, man. So, Snoop, if you ever lay your eyes on this podcast, thank you, man. Incredible album.
Yeah,
30
definitely.
years.
So, yeah, man. 30 years wrapped up in 30 minutes.
Mm.
Can't be better than that, man. So, yeah, Doggystyle, absolute hip hop classic, 6 mics, one of the greatest albums of all time. Not just in hip hop, man. I think the album brought a load of people to hip hop as well who weren't even listening to it.
Yeah, man. Real talk.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah, big. So yeah, man, we'll wrap that. Doggystyle, 30 years in 30 minutes. If you haven't heard it in a long time, now's the time to play that. So yeah, from me, as always, signing out, and my co-host extraordinaire to my left, signing out.
Yes. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. Run with us, man. We're going to be throwing out a few of these anniversary albums and that. So, yeah, stick with us, man. Appreciate you as always. Tap into previous episodes and we'll see you again, man. Keep it hype. Stay blessed. Peace.